Okay, good afternoon. Let's pop a picture up on the screen while I go through what we did earlier. So, yeah, I did a bit of work this morning, but yeah, I kind of had a bit of a fail stream. Like I forgot to have the camera on. Anyway, so we had an issue with the looter. Just a simple fix, like I had forgotten to. So we have this script here where we, where is it? Yeah, character constructor. Construct character, and the looter gets its information from the level. So if it's level 99, it's classed as a looter, and then if the enemy spawner spawns it, it makes it big and it makes it drop loot. And I had just failed to copy it in here, just lapse of just missed a bit, and so there it is. And so I fixed that. There were some issues with the encyclopedia. So here we have our problem. So while the game works, because once the game has started and then we just try to spawn a character, everything's loaded already. So it knows what is what, right? To be honest, I don't know why that was working given the bug that was there. But basically, where's the best way to start? So when I made my characters recently, I did the big code refactoring. Lots of views on that video compared to usual, and a few subscribers, like 5 subscribers in the last few days, which really, I cannot tell you how much that just makes my day and makes me so happy. So thank you for those who subscribed. And so we refactored the code and we made character as a script. Like, watch the previous video if you want the information there. And when it came to the sprite of each character, I am referencing, so we go all the way down to, let's say, yeah, floating shield, for example. I am getting the sprite from the upgrade because it's already in there, right? It's already sitting there. So, and I didn't want to have to click and drag 80 times 4, so 160, 320 bits of script that I would have had to that many clicking and dragging the sprite into the position. I didn't want to have to do that, so I referenced the upgrades. However, the upgrades are referencing the character to get the ally, right? And so let's look down to one I haven't done yet. We get the character from the character script, and the character script gets the sprite from the upgrade script. So they are referencing each other. So that's not going to work, right? Because if I do, depending on which one I'll do first, it will either be missing the character or the sprite, right? In this case, we had the sprite was fine because character came after. And so that wasn't working. It messed up the encyclopedia. And it messed up this little thing. So the game ran fine. But if we go to the character... I'm not going to be able to show you because... but if we go to the character select, and then when we show... Oh, here's their starting upgrades. The character one would show us a talent because it just asks, is the ally null, is the weapon null? Okay, that means it's a talent. And so it would color it with the talent color, which was wrong. So the game would have run fine. I could have pressed play and just played and ignored that minor error. But, you know, it needs fixing. And also the encyclopedia is quite important as well. Peripheral things, not affecting the core of the gameplay. But yeah, so that was that. So what I need to do, unfortunately, is I need to set the sprite on the character script. Meaning I will have to click and drag 320 sprites to connect them up in the editor. One way to avoid this, so ideally you won't have to refactor code, but just because like you may end up having to refactor code, my advice would be do sprites in their own thing. So just put all the sprites on one script and just everything can reference that, and just load that before, put that in the script execution order before anything else. But we're just going to carry on how we were. So I have copied and pasted all of these sprites which used to live. Oh, all of the ones that. So all of these sprites up here, they used to live in upgrades. But I'm going to have to move them now to characters and set them here. So that means another big chunk of refactoring to do. Because basically what I need to do is make it so that the characters is not dependent on upgrades. Upgrades is dependent on characters. So yeah, I need to set the sprites in the character spreadsheet. So I've copied all of these along. And I'm going to have to go through each sprite in upgrades. So we've got a few things to do. All the sprites in upgrades, we have to so where they were saying get that sprite, we're now having to go to that sprite from characters, and I'm going to do it the same way I did the weapons, where we go characters.get character, the name, and that's the sprite that you want for the upgrade. And then I'm going to have to do that, and then so there's a lot of shit basically. I did have this set up, so we do sprite equals and then we do dot star sprite, and we replace that with sprite equals get character thingamajig, right? So that, let's check that one worked. Yeah. Oh no, this should be. And then what I was hoping is that I'd be able to say whatever that is, put that in there. But I'm just going to leave it blank. So we'll just. So we're gonna. This is going to be a long one. So here we have this one. So what if? So and I just need to go through to all of these. What if I did it to all of them? How does that mess with? Okay, that leaves no errors. So now we've got this empty space here, and I just need to take this and do that. Could I do name? No, I can't. I can't do it. I can't like say this upgrade while I'm setting it up. So yeah, I have to take this and put it in there in each case. Yeah. So this is going to be a pain in the ass, basically. So I'm going to just make my life easy and find all instances of that, because that should never be. Not regex. Just find me that. And I'm going to have to go through. And if anyone happens to join the stream, and if anyone watches, tell me if there's a better way. Because I'm going to have to go through each and every one of these and do this. I've just made a big mistake. So with the sword, it shouldn't be touching that. So let's go back to before I did the big one, so we get all the red bits. And so yes for allies, no for weapons. So let's go sword. Yeah, why did that mess up sword? Why would the sword? So it would be sprite equals. So we do this dot star and turn on regex, and then that works. That gives me what I want. And so if I did it to all of them, did that do it to all of them? Oh, okay, yeah, my mistake. So yeah, regex sprite, And then why does that also get the weapon sprite equals I see? So I'm going to do this by selection. So I'm going to select, because otherwise it's going to get a bunch of sprites that I don't want to change that aren't. So we go allies, and I'm just going to collapse all of these. So we go allies, selection, and do it here. So that should have gone through all of these characters and changed what was pointing to a sprite that was in this thing to something else. So yeah, collapse weapons, collapse talents, allies. We want to do it for allies. So again, we're just going to have to do this another 2 times. So boom, boom. Good old code refactoring. Clever finds and replaces. Okay. And another one. And this is going to take so long and be such a pain. Like, to be honest, I wouldn't mind doing this one by one if I had to. Okay, so where's the error? Spark of life. Why has it done that for talents? Oh, okay. So those ones are now red. I see. So, okay, and so the issue here is that I have copied over some of the talent bits. So I'll just search here and go talents. Current document, talents. We go up here, and I just need to copy these back over to, so just the talents. And there's not many. These do need to live in upgrades. So we are deep in the spaghetti fields. Yeah, so these are unused. So we go talents, and yeah, these all just say talents. I guess we can be diligent here and go, this is green bean. We don't need to write, and we don't need to write talents again. This would be, yeah, demon, spicy bean. I'm going to change the name of the things, and then this should ought to come under that. Oh, rigor mortis. Okay, silliness. That should be rigor mortis. No, spark of life. And next instance of talents is just this one, and this is in fact rigor mortis. And we pop that here. Green bean, so talents, green bean, spicy bean. So this would sit between them. And we go talents, and we go tier human being, yeah, tier 1. I guess we put another header, which is human being, because talents are copied between factions. So welcome to my spaghetti dungeon. That sounds like a great name for a game, actually, Spaghetti Dungeon. So, that should deal with, yeah, that's dealt with those errors. Okay. So now what I want to do is, in each case of allies, that just needs to be that in every case. Right? And I would have no problem, in the name of game development, in just doing that. But no, I'm going to open up ChatGPT. I don't know if there's a better way. I don't know if there's some kind of intelligent find and replace that I could be doing. But basically, I want to give ChatGPT this entire block of scripts and describe how I want to change this. So, and it's a very simple task. It's just a big block of code it has to do it with. Hello. I'll bring this here. Hello. Kill some more water in Africa to say hello. Here is a block of code which... Here is a block of code. Whenever there is the line that looks like this, please copy the text in the quote marks into the quote marks of the given line. Am I making sense there? Whenever there is the line sprite equals characters dot get character open close quotes dot sprite, please copy the text in the quote marks. Okay. Whenever there is the line, it is followed by the line, I guess the same thing, ally equals whenever there is the line, it is followed by the line. Okay. Would like you to take X and put it in the quotation marks of the first line. For example, if can I just paste that? Yeah. Should become here is the block of code. Message is too long. Okay, can we do it in chunks? Okay, how too long? So we delete all of that. And can we do it in chunks then? Because this like and at what point, how far would I have got if I had just done this manually, I wonder. So let's split it in half. Here's the block of code. Okay, that's not too long. Okay. Machines, do my bidding. Okay, good. Why is it starting with rogue? Because I've already done it there. But this is correct. Okay. Okay, but it's only done it for one of them. And, yeah. You have only done it for the rogue. Can you do it for the rest of the script too? Okay. You have skipped. Please don't skip any lines. I need to paste this into place. The block of code I gave you. Okay, it looks like it's got the message. So then what I hope to be able to do is just copy this and then... Okay. Is it still working? It looks like you stopped at looter. Can you continue with the rest of the code, please? I wonder, like, at this point, should I be using... like, I think I need to update my Visual Studio, because I think nowadays, like, I shouldn't have to, like, paste this in and out of ChatGPT. I should be able to... yeah, I think there's a limit to, like, how much code it can feed me. So I ought to invest in, like, getting like Claude code or something embedded into my Visual Studio. So I will make a note of that. Update. To be honest, I want to do this on a new project though. Update version of Visual Studio, and before doing that, back up everything. Because yeah, I want to update. Because I think I haven't used this a lot, but I think I could just have an AI like Copilot or Claude or whatever. I haven't used that much, but I guess I want one of those, and then I would be able to do it in there. So I would just have like a little AI thing and be like, here's the code, just change it, because it shouldn't have to like give me these massive blocks of text. And I think that's where it's falling apart. It's like, look, I'm not going to send you a massive reams of code. So in this case, I have investigated the AI option, and I have found that it would be better for me to just do it manually. Like this. Prone to mistakes, but, you know. And this is what podcasts are for, I guess, but I can't really do a podcast while I'm streaming. Or can I? I don't know what the rules are on that, but I don't think I can just listen to like some Stranger Stories or Rotten Mango while I'm doing this, because then, you know, I guess I could change up the audio, but, you know, bit of meditation. So this is going to be very tedious, and I need to focus just enough so that I don't make silly mistakes, so that if I misclick, and I'm gonna have to do this many times. I did have a page up where I was like, what did I search? Regex expressions. And I did have a page up where I could see like Okay, I'm gonna get. Can I get shit? I didn't because I don't have a ChatGPT account. Can I get back that conversation I had earlier? I don't think I can. Okay, I'm gonna cite. So I'm gonna fix these problems. So I'm actually gonna link my Google account to ChatGPT so that this doesn't happen again. 39, almost 40. Finish creating account. Because there might be some like regex regular expression way, because what I did is I said, okay, get that line, but it still wouldn't work. I would have to put spaces in, but I think this is an issue of updating, because this version of video, like I've tried updating Visual Studio Code and it does this weird shit where it like doesn't like connect the scripts up, so it can only like, it won't compile all the scripts together. So if I'm referencing things between scripts, it won't register that, which is really annoying. And I had a bit of a headache trying to like figure that out. Okay, we're an eighth of the way there. No, we are. Yeah, we're an eighth of the way there. Where it just wouldn't connect it all up, like, and I didn't understand why. And I did some troubleshooting, and I spent like a couple of hours tearing my hair out. Like, why can't you just figure out the most basic thing which I'm asking you to do, which is connect these things, like, and it wouldn't do that. So but I'll try again. So I'll download like the latest version of Studio Code. I'll try and link it up with like Copilot or something, or Claude or whatever it is. Wait. Get character Frost Mage. Okay, that's a bug. That shouldn't be like that. It should say Frost space Mage. So why didn't that bring up an error before? Yeah, it doesn't come up again. Okay, interesting. Well, fixed. So this is a pain in the ass, and this is why you need AI, and perhaps AI could also have found me a way of using regex, because regex, like, it's a bit of a learning curve to it, of course. And it's possible that I could have said, okay, get me that, and then find me that, and you know what I mean, like, and then put a space between the capitals, or at least meant that all I would have had to do is kind of go through and just put spaces where they're needed. But you know, okay. So yeah, pain in the ass, but you know, it's the price we pay for coding things badly in the first place. I think what I am going to do, just so I don't die of boredom, is I'm going to do... So do you get audio from the game? So I think you do. Yeah, desktop audio. So I just turned desktop audio right down to nothing. You can still hear me speaking, and I can have a... Oh, I do still have this. Okay. I see you can't give me the code because it's too long. Can we regular expressions to achieve the outcome I'm after. Okay, let's try this. Well, I'll put this on the main screen so you can see it, and I'll move this to the other one because goddamn, like doing that manually would be awful. So that's what we put. So we do find and replace. Switch regex on. Let's just turn that on for good measure. What's this one? Match whole word. Oh, I don't know. Oh, okay, that would, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so that's what we put in, and that's what we get out. Let's see what that does. So let's find one, and then if I press it, sprite ally. No, that didn't work. This didn't work. The outcome is that I lose the second line in each case. Oh, I see. So something about line indentations? So that's it. That's it. Regex. Okay, so I'm going to have more faith in regex going forward. Because I never believed it would be able to do something at this level of complicated. But it turns out it does work. And yeah, so pro tip is if you don't know how to use regex, because it is fairly complicated to be fair. This is a thing explaining how regex works. Way too complicated for me. This magic spell apparently gets it done. So, yep. So it's just taking the bit in the quotes on the second line, bringing it up to the top empty quotes. And that's doing it. Wow. Okay, boom. Do it to all of it. Oh my god. Okay, work smart, not hard, right? Don't work hard, work smart. Okay, beautiful. Oh my god. Okay, thank God I didn't have to do that. I went on my second project, and before AI as well. Like, I would have to do refactorings like this, and I would spend hours having to like do silly little stuff like this, which really like a well-trained monkey could do. And goddamn, I'm so happy that that the AI could help me use regex to make it happen. Wow. Okay, we're in business, right? That's only part of the problem, but that part is solved. Okay, and then here, we don't want to... And again, I'm not going to try and understand the black magic that is regular expressions. So I'm going to take... So sprite equals upgrades.get upgrades soldier sprite. So I'm going to say thanks and steal some water from some poor African children by saying thanks. No, I'm not going to say thanks. I want to say thanks, but I'm not going to. So now, and let's see if I can figure this one out. So if anytime we have this line, I want to replace it with this line. Right? Sprite, it would be, yeah, so anytime it's that, oh God, what have I done? Anytime it's this line, I want to replace it with that. Okay. So I will calmly tell this work. It's not thanking it, it's just giving it more information. Okay. So now can you help me use regular expressions to turn this line into this? For example, should become sprite equals soldier sprite. And let's do it with the 2 just to make it extra complicated. That's important. So do the thing, magic spell to this magic spell. Because perhaps I should sit there and try and understand this, but I don't want to. So okay. This magic spell, and then this magic spell, and then boom. Ah, okay. This almost works, except there is a space. Can we do this while ignoring the space? For example, soldier, yeah, so yeah, so actually what I'm going to do is edit this. Can I edit? Oh, you can't edit it. I'm thinking of Grok, I guess, because actually it would be soldier with a space. So yeah, I'll just copy this. Can I just go back so it doesn't get confused? No? Can I edit? Okay, never mind. I mistyped. I'll just type it again and see what happens. And I just need to make sure that this is clear. Because we want to... This is a 2-step. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So it's a 2-step one. Okay, so if we did it... So we'll keep this. We'll keep this. So that works. And then we need to do one where we remove the space. Step 2. Remove the spaces before the sprite. So magic spell. And then bippity boppity boo. Easy. Lovely. Removes the spaces. Why is that not there? Sprite, okay. Oh god, it did. Okay. Oh, don't give me that, YouTube. Apparently the buffering is low. I might need to like restart computer or something. That's not good because we've got pretty good turnout today. Thank you everyone who's here. Please let me know if you have any advice for me. Or anything you'd like me to go into more detail on. Okay, so now this should be pretty straightforward. Okay. I think what what's the best way to fix this? So we've ended up writing the word sprite before. Oh, okay. So I'll undo. Okay, so that's all it is. That's all it is. So I just need to select, so I'll just collapse all this and it makes it easier just to grab all of it. Do we still have buffering issues? No, apparently not. So that was just my internet provider or something. Okay, so it's really this block. So can we just do it to the selection, please? Selection, thank you. And boom. There we go. No, you didn't do it? Yeah. What was wrong with that? And then there is this issue of Mega versus Engineer 4, but we'll fix that in a bit. Okay, why did that not do? Is it just... Oh... It's not got rid of all the spaces? What about down below here? Okay, so in most cases it's worked. Why did it not work for Frost Mage? Is that because of the previous error that I must have undone? Okay, so we can deal with that manually because I think it's rare enough. So we just go through and remove the spaces where they appear. And then we've got this issue of Tower 4 sprite, which was saying Mega sprite. Okay, now I'm finally going to solve this issue. So it used to go 1, 2, 3 Mega. And I changed that to say 1, 2, 3, 4 because that's better. But I didn't update it here again just so that I wouldn't have to like change all the sprites, just so that I wouldn't have to like go through and click and drag them again. But I'm going to have to do that anyway. So now, okay, so I'll tell that worked and I'll skip the thank you. Now, I'd like to change any instance of Mega into, so Mega X sprite into X4 sprite. For example, Soldier, Mega Soldier should become Soldier 4. And it's just gonna, so do, this is the magic spell. So paste. Paste. Why learn things when you can get AI to teach it to you anyway? Okay, good. So we have that. And I don't want to do it to the whole thing. Oh, well, actually, I can see where it's picked up. So it hasn't picked up anything below here. So I can just go ahead and do it to all. I don't need to do it to a selection. Okay. And then we find these odd ones where for some reason it just hasn't gotten rid of that space. And I think that is, yeah, like it's done it there, but it hasn't done it there. So I'm just going to do this manually. because it's not that common. Because any 2-word things, it's like kept the space, and I think that's down to it being a 2-word thing. Okay, I've probably got some error. So grave robber. Where is grave robber? Oh, grave robber doesn't exist? So let's go up to, and sorry about the spaces in between, the lines in between these. It's grave robber. Okay, it sees that as 1 word. Okay, I'm going to change that here. Is it like that? Character. Grave robber. Okay, yeah, no, I'm going to change that up here. So this would be grave, so I'll just capitalize. So I was thinking of grave robber as 1 word when I did that originally, but I think it should be 2 words. So then, yeah, anytime that there were 2 words, it didn't quite get it. And there's probably some more clever regex I could do. But it's really not a big deal just for me to go and do it manually. Again, I am going to install the latest version of Visual Studio and start with like Claude or Copilot or whatever it is, just in case, just for future. But for now, regex and a little bit of manual labor is fine. God, if I had a junior programmer, I would abuse them. I'd be like, right, here, take this and just go through it. And they'd be like, really? Could you not have done that in the time it took you to write me this email? Yeah, but I want you to suffer. Alright. And there's going to be more than the red lines are showing because there's some collapsed brackets. Okay, down we go. Unfortunately, there's not too many characters that have 2 words in their name. Yeah, naming hell, exactly. Like a lot of it's my own mistakes, but you know, this is how we learn, isn't it? You make a mistake, you deal with the consequences, and then you don't make the mistake again. And here I am dealing with the consequences. Right. So this is working. And I'm surprised at how sophisticated regex is, but it's like, yeah, anytime I look at it and I think a monkey could do this, you could probably use regex. And I wish that I knew about regex for some of my older projects because it would have saved me a lot of time. And I'm so happy that AI exists because I could, like, 10 years ago, yeah, I could have probably looked up, or 5 years ago, I could have looked up, oh, can you teach me how to use regex, please? And maybe gone to a forum and someone would have told me maybe, but I'd have had to wait like a few hours or more, if at all, for someone to come in and help me and say, yeah, this is what you need to do, put this in. But having the AI just saying, yeah, use this magic spell and fix it for me is beautiful. And I don't care if... I do care about the moral problems of AI. But then, I don't know, so I've, like, does anyone think that I should be... I mean, you know, getting ahead of myself a little bit, I'm not going to be nominated for an Indie Game Award. But if I was nominated for an Indie Game Award, should this disqualify me? Because I am using AI. I am using AI here. I'm just using it to help me learn regex, right? Is there a difference between using AI for art or even using AI for code? And where is the line? Because I would say I don't feel any moral... I can see the moral problems with AI, but I don't feel a smidge of bad conscience from doing this. Not a smidge. So yeah, curious as to what people might think about that. Have I committed the cardinal sin? Am I now persona non grata among some circles because I've used AI technically to help me use another much more simple, I guess you would have called this AI 10 years ago, which is regex, which is, you know, interpret what I said and do something cleverer with it. Okay, so this is, yeah, some compile. And now I've got the horrible, horrible job of clicking and dragging. So now I've done that, great. The script side of this is complete. However, that is only a part of the problem. Because now that we've moved all of these sprites from one script to another, I now have to reassign them. So go into characters and look at all these lovely empty missing sprites. Oh, all of these need filling. It's not too bad because I just go sprites, characters, and let's start with the humans. I like saying humans like that. How a robot would say it. And sadly, these aren't quite in the right order because I made the misguided mistake of trying to name them one by one, which was a bit of a waste of time. But here we go. Soldier. And I have to do this. Now, Unity soon is going to have AI in it. Like, you might have to opt in, but I reckon fairly soon you won't even be able to. You'll have to opt out. And then a little bit later on, you won't be able to opt out because it will just be like, you'll have to go out of your way. I guess that's what opting out is. You have to go out of your way to not have it. I could say, and how would I do it? Okay, so I've named some of these, but as I went on in the project, I realized it's not worth naming them because I'm just going to be clicking and dragging them anyway. What is the best way to do this, you know? Oh, hold on. We might have another, sorry, tangent, but all of these characters. So, this is a problem. Okay, just because I was looking, each of these characters has an undead version. Fun. So we're going to find, and now it's a bit tricky to find things, but yeah, it's at the top. We have our hero, and we have sprite undead version. So anyone who's not caught up, it's like that used to be. So before, for each character, I had a prefab. It was an object for each character in the game, and I would give it all its stats and assign its sprite working in the prefab. But I realized, and especially now it comes to balancing, I ought to have it in script instead. So we have one prefab, which is a default template character, which we then set up using information that is in this class called character. And this is better. So this is what I mean by refactoring code. It used to be one way. I've realized it would be much better to have it another way. And I've done this way too late in the project. But better late than never. And I was going to avoid it. But now that it comes to balancing, I need to do it because I need to be able to, rather than, so I'm like, oh, the buffer should have a longer spawn rate, that have a longer interval between spawns, but should have higher HP to make up for that. So instead of going through each buffer prefab and fiddling with the numbers, I can just say, this character is a buffer. Let's go Bannerman, just to explain it. Banner, no? Banner? Oh. Bannerman. And say, look, this guy is a buffer. And then down here, I say, multiply the buffer's HP. Where do we have this? Where have I lost it? Balance with constants. Here it is. We say if a character is a buffer, so here we have if character type is buffer, then multiply their spawn interval by this and their max HP by this. And then all I need to do, if I want to say actually the buffers should come in even slower, done, as opposed to having to click through lots of things. So now that I'm at the stage of balancing and fine-tuning, so the buffer has the spawn merit multiplier like that. No, they should have even more HP. You know, I don't have to go through each one, right? So I can make these quick balancing changes. It's like, for example, a healer. Maybe they should have the same HP as other characters, but I kind of feel like it makes sense if they have a little bit less. But just in case, but I said no, actually, healers should have the same HP as normal units. So I just changed that. And as we enter into the stage of balancing and fine-tuning the balance to get the game to feel right, seasoning our chicken, it makes sense to have really easy access. As opposed to going through how many healers do I have? Like 30, 40 healers? 20 healers? I'd have to go through each one of those 20 healers and do that. And I can grab a bunch of them at a time. But they actually have different... so it's better like this. Anyway, so that's why I'm refactoring the code. And now I have to go through each of these and drag them in. And if I had some like built-in Unity thing to say, and then I don't even know how I would tell it to do this. So, couple ways to avoid this problem from happening again in the future. One would be a practice of having my code. So at the moment these sprites are attached to the script of characters because these are the sprites for the characters. What might have made more sense and would have avoided this problem is if I had a script called sprites and I did it there, right? And then they would have just always been referencing sprites, and that would have evolved. Yeah, that would have changed this problem. That would have avoided this problem. Have a script called sprites and put all of your sprites in there. And then if you say, oh, actually, I want to move these. No, you don't have to move them. You were referencing sprites in the first place. The other way to solve it, and I think this is a more common thing, is to have a script which gets the sprites basically by name. So when I make a sprite called witch, I would make sure to name it witch, and then it would have the exact same name as the character that the witch is for, right? So witch for would be named properly witch for, and I say resources like get the sprite that shares the name of the character from the resources folder. I think that's bad too. There's two reasons. One is, what if you change the name of the character? You also have to change the name of the sprite, which is a bit of a pain. The other reason is that takes time to load. Whereas, and I can't remember where I saw this, but it's actually a little bit cleaner if you, rather than like populating these from resources using a script, it's actually reduces the loading time ever so slightly by doing it yourself manually here. There are ways around that. I think there are ways of like having a script do this bit for me and then not doing that every time it loads. Like having a script do this bit for me, saving it, and then... In fact, I could do that myself. I could make a script that says, find me the thing by name, pressing play, copy the component, press unplay, and then it will empty again, and then paste the component, and then it will all be there. But I think it is actually just easier to do it like this. So this is about as tedious and brainless as it gets, but I don't even know how an AI would do this unless I were to name the sprites properly. One of the things I've done is so in this one I have named them for the humans, because this was the first one I did, but in the future ones I didn't name them. And there is another option, which is the order that they appear here could match the order that which is the case for the demons. So like just to demonstrate what I'm talking about, so go all the way down to demons. so the spicy beans, are actually the same order. It's the first one is the first one, the second one is the second one. Like this list matches that list. And an AI could easily, or a script could easily just go, okay, 1 is 1, 2 is 2, 3 is 3, 4 is 4, and so on, right? And that really wouldn't be that difficult to do. You wouldn't even need an AI for that. You could write a script for that. But I think right now, in the time it would take for me to write a script that could do that, and because off the top of my head, I don't know how I would do that. How would I do that? So you have a list of sprites coming from the resources, which presumably are numbered. Like I can say, get me the one from this list, get me position 5, and link that to... I don't actually know how I would do it. It would take me a bit of time to figure it out, and that's assuming I got it right first time. It would probably take the same amount of time as it would right now to just drag them in. So here we go. Tedious work. But it's worth doing. It's all for a good cause. And it's also quite fun for me to just see all the sprites I've made. I was crazy ambitious too, because it just kind of got away from me. Like, okay, there's 10 characters per faction. There's 4 factions. I might be totally off on my calculations for how many characters in total, but there's 4 factions, and each faction has 4 heroes, which don't have different versions. So each character, 10 factions times 4 is 10 times 4 is 40, plus 4 for the heroes, so 24. 24 times, yeah, 20. I'm bad at maths. I am bad at maths. There are 10 characters per faction. 10 times 4 is 40. And there are 4 versions of each character. So 4 times 40, 2 times 4 is 160. Plus 16 characters. So there are 176 characters in the game. 176 characters that I drew. A lot of them, obviously, they look similar to each other, but, you know. So that's why they're all just bouncing heads. Because I was not going to draw. And I'm not good at drawing. I had to learn even to get to this level, and I think you'll agree. This isn't exactly impressive artwork, but hopefully it's, you know, gets the point across. Each character looks sufficiently different. Oh, and sidetrack again. So I need to, for each character, I need to say undead version equals undead soldier sprite. Okay. Okay. ChatGPT, help me out here. So, okay. Now, for each line, setting the sprite, I need to add another line. Setting the, yeah, I need to add another line. So, sprite after sprite equals X sprite. I need to add another line saying undead version equals undead X sprite. For example, soldier sprite equals soldier sprite, comma, just to be clear, should be followed by undead version equals undead soldier sprite. Okay, help me out. Give me the magic spell. Okay, you found it. And then okay. Did that not? Okay, it's only taken the first line. So what it might end up being a bit ugly. So it would be that followed by that. Okay. This works, but I cannot paste the new line into the replace field. Yeah, so that's the code for new line. It's the same with like, yeah, /n. It's the same. Wait. So let's try that. Okay. Okay, 24. Okay, so what I want to do is add 24 spaces. Okay. This worked, but but if I, so let's undo that, and then if I do this, that fixes it. Okay, let me try that again, and now if I go all the way, like, so that's soldier 4. Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, the demo is way behind. The game's a lot better than it was when that demo came out. But yeah, thanks so much for subscribing. Yeah, and if you wishlist the game, that helps too. But yeah, I really appreciate you dropping by. Really, really helps a lot. And yeah, as I said earlier in the video, if you were here, every subscriber really makes my day. When I've got 10,000 subscribers, it probably won't make my day anymore, to be fair. But right now, if you subscribe, it absolutely makes my day. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Okay, this worked. So I don't need to worry about the indentation being lost. Oh, it kept the indentation now. Okay, never mind. All right, so let's do that to all. And let's undo until we've lost all of these. Yeah, so so I'm going to know, because we'll lose that undead soldier sprite. And then now, before I undo something that I don't want to undo, here is everything before we started this. Okay, so sprite equals something sprite, and then I'm just going to have a quick scan. So it's not getting anything above here. So it's not getting anything that it shouldn't get. Okay. So we do that to all. And we've actually got a double space. Do I care about the double spaces? It's just ugly. Okay. Do I care about the double space? I would rather not, to be honest. I don't know why it's like that. Because there should only be one line. Why has that done 2 spaces? Fascinating. In order to avoid the... so my rule is like anything that isn't in all of them gets a double space between, but anything that applies to every single one is in this first bar here, and it applies to every single one, so I should keep up that. And if I do it to all, it seems to make another space. It seems to do 2 spaces, which is weird. Rather than figure that out, I'm just gonna work my clicky finger and do it all the way down, because apparently that doesn't do the double space. So boom, 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 boom. Got a really bad joke. Reminds me of being a teenager at a party. To be fair, not really, because it would be my middle finger. Okay, so this is step 1 of this. So yeah, we need to make sure that each of them has an undead version. A lot of the time, the undead version is the same. But yeah, it's just a bit of extra length that I went to for all my players. We could easily make the undead version look exactly the same as the real one and put like a little black filter over it or something. But no, I want the undead soldier to be a character that has the same helmet but a skeleton face. Okay, now... oof, this is going to be a nightmare. So yeah, what we've done, and that's where we get from 160. So we got 174 for total characters, but 160 for the non-hero ones. My maths is off there. 176, but 160 for the non-hero characters. But they all have an undead version. Fortunately, the undead character's undead version looks exactly the same and is the same sprite. One thing at a time. And the demons, I'll probably do that again with the demons. But it was really important to me that an undead mage was a skeleton wearing the same hat as a mage. That's just really important to me, because you can... one of the things that was definitely not easy to do, and it still has some bugs actually, but works. It's just yeah. Anyway, is necromancers reviving undead units, and that the fact that undead unit is actually the same unit. Like it's the same unit but with different powers. I need to think about how that's working with the new way I'm pooling units. Anyway, I'm sure that'll come up. So now we have this, right? And so basically, I want to take... oh, this is so horrible. This is 160 sprites for characters. Go all the way down, and we do the wonderful thing of pasting that. Huh. Okay, and then we go all the way up to the yellow line where we started the paste, and where we start seeing the red because it's seen it before, and we select that. And what I want to do is turn all of those. So maybe I can do this. So it would be star dot sprite. Is it dot star? But dot star sprite becomes dot star undead. No. So it's this. All of this is the same. Okay. I'm going to get the AI to help. All right. Okay, so now into for example into like that's magic. I'm sorry, but how am I going to remember? How am I going to learn how that works? I mean, I guess the real question is why should I learn how that works? Like it is part of the moral conundrum of using AI. Like even if it's for a really like innocuous thing, maybe you're robbing yourself of actually learning it. But is that my goal here? Okay, so not selection. Current document. Oh, for God's sake. Okay. So this. Okay, good. So we'll get the selection back. Should take a while. Shouldn't have lost the selection, but there we are near the end. Right, good. And then selection all. Okay. And where's the problem? Undead. So it's done it for the heroes where it doesn't need to, because that will never ever come up. They can stay null. And I'll just do this manually. So it's going to be only 16 cases of heroes. And yeah, the demons will probably also look the same when undead. Although, you know, depends. Maybe I'll look at it and I'll like, red will become black just so they look a bit different. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, when I started coding, yeah, it's like Googling. I started coding 9 years ago. So that was before, I mean, AI was, yeah, it was before AI was like available to people. Did it not? Why didn't it do it for here as well? Yeah, exactly. Like, and so I every time I had a problem, and I thought this was really impressive at the time, and it still is, but every time I had it, because I'm self-taught, so I didn't do I didn't go to university for this or anything like that, or any courses or anything. I taught myself how to code. And every time I had a problem, I would Google the solution, and I would generally have to read through quite a few different forum posts and whatnot. And that's if I was lucky. But now I can actually just phrase the question exactly, tailor the question exactly to my problem, and AI will give me a decent answer generally. So yeah, like AI in games, the only moral problem I have here is that if I didn't have AI, I would have had to learn to use regex myself. Like I would have had to learn fundamentally how these systems work. And that probably would have been beneficial. It definitely would have made me smarter, because it's another. I think everything you learn kind of stretches your brain in a new way. And I would have had to learn how to do that myself, which would be a good skill. And it would mean that, if the AI servers crash, but instead of learning how regex works and becoming really good at it, I can just get the AI to understand regex for me. And I don't see that. I can imagine a day, a couple years from now, where I'm like, oh shit, I need to use regex and I don't have the AI available. I guess that's when I'll learn it, right? And if there's no internet, I'm screwed anyway, because I can't sell my game if there's no internet. I'm not going to print DVDs and, if there's no internet, I'm screwed anyway. It seems like a good solution. It's just, rather than learning how to use regular expressions, just ask the AI, as I would ask a very intelligent human, or a senior programmer. I've never had a senior programmer. I don't have any. I've never worked at a company as a programmer. Worked as a game designer, but not a programmer. So yeah. Right. So now we also have our undead sprites, and as painful as that is, it had to be done, but that they're there now. So let's save that and go back to the horrible task of clicking and dragging all these sprites in. But we were a quarter of the way until we realized we have to do the undead characters too. Now we're an eighth of the way through, which is fine. And yeah, lesson for today is have more faith in regex, because it is quite intelligent. Don't work smart, not hard. And hey, working smart is getting someone else to be smart for you, I guess. That's working really smart. Don't work. Just get someone else to do it. Get a machine to do it. Okay. Green beans. That's a mistake that can't be bothered to fix. Green spelt like green. And so you can see already here, this is actually, but I don't think it's true throughout. Oh yeah, so Ranger isn't the next one. Next one is Warg. So we go from 0 to 4 to 24 to 27. And then Loot Goblin. And yeah, the goblins are next in line for a character glow up. Goblin Ranger. Zapper. Firestarter. Twisted Firestarter. So yeah, at least we get to look at all the characters, and I can slowly absorb the looks of the characters in my head and sort of silently come up with little ideas to improve them. Yeah, exactly. So the only problem with doing regex using the help of AI is that I didn't learn regex. But you're right. Like, instead, I'm freed up to learn other things. When I started this project, I started this project like just under a year ago, and it was at the time when AI was kind of like really becoming mainstream, and people were talking about it. And I was like, and it's like, oh, did you know that AI can help you make a game? And I'm like, I'm a game developer, so I'm like, really? Is that so? Uh, okay, let's give it a try. And people were talking about vibe coding. So I started off vibe coding this game. So I know how to make games. I don't have anything to prove. I made a factory simulator. I made a card, a grid-based card game. Yeah, exactly. You can do boring tasks for me. And also just teach me things that I don't know, because I don't have a senior programmer to help me. I don't have like some teacher that I can ask, or a fellow student who's further along than me that I can ask to help me with this stuff. I have to, and so it's actually really helpful. Yeah, this guy needs a shadow under his forehead. Yeah. So yeah, when I started this project, I was trying to vibe code it, and I was really impressed at first at how well these flames shouldn't have a black outline. I was really impressed at first at how well interpreted what I was saying. So, I've made a mistake. Blade Master. Wayfinder, I've given the Blade Master. Okay, Wayfinder is this one. Wayfinder. And so at first I was really impressed, and it allowed me so I got to the point of having characters on screen fighting each other with health bars and kind of blobbing at each other and all of that stuff. And it made that part of the game so much easier for me that I was able to really be in a pure design headspace. And it really helped with the mental load of having to figure out the very core of how to program something. So I did the very common thing of early prototyping using AI. Just like I think people do things called lures or GUIs. I'm going to show my ignorance here, but I don't really know what those are. But that's basically when you sort of Frankenstein stitch some code together from pre-existing code just to get something visually working, just to see how something looks and kind of demo an idea. And then after you've sort of done that, that's when you kind of rebuild the code from scratch. And so I kind of did the same thing here, except I definitely think so a lot of these AI ideas, as we were building it, and I was just like, okay, yeah, that works, I'm going to keep it, I don't need to go and redo that for them. Has kind of been what's led to some of these big refactorings that I've had to do. So there's very little AI that still exists in the game, and it's probably slowed me down in the long run, actually. The vibe coding side of it. Obviously, these moments like this where it helps me, it's good. But, that was the part of the journey to get here, right? Is knowing when to and when not to use AI. And this today was definitely an example of when to. But so is AI even good for early prototyping? I don't know. If you're trying, for me as a solo dev, I would say no. I don't regret having tried it. I'm not saying I shouldn't have used AI to try and vibe code this game at the beginning. but it has led to more of a technical debt had I not, right? So if I can turn back time, I still would. But if I could step in a time machine and go back and lose all my progress, I wouldn't use AI to get to the point I'm at, you know. And I'm not going to use it for my next game. But I am going to install the latest version of Visual Studio, which has much more intelligent sort of code predictiveness. This is Visual Studio 2017, I think. You know, so probably shouldn't be using it. But yeah, there were a couple really impressive moments, right? So when I was doing the vibe coding, it would make my hero character, and then it made enemies and it made allies. And I was like, great, okay, but shouldn't that all be the same thing? So that these were all different scripts that were basically the same, right? And I was like, hold on, shouldn't that be the same script? Like, and so rather than doing that myself, I said to the AI, I was like, hey, cool. So can we make it so that enemies, allies, and player character are actually all the same character, all the same script, and we just kind of change the tag, like a same script with different types attached to it. And it was like, yeah, good thinking, boss. I'll do that. And it did it. And I was like, wow, that's really impressive. Not only is it like keeping up with me, but it's actually able to refactor things. And obviously I was pat myself on the back for thinking of that refactor. I mean, it's fairly obvious, but you know, I didn't feel completely useless. I'm not sure this is good enough for the edgelord. I'm gonna redo edgelord. But I was really impressed that the AI was able to do that. I thought that was really clever. Notice now how they're actually kind of in sequence for the most part. And I was really impressed with that. But then as we got on, and it would get to the point where I'd have to be like, it would forget earlier bits of the code. So I would say, oh, this is great. Okay, now can we add this feature? And it's like, sure thing, boss. And it will add that feature, but then lose previous features. Which obviously is completely useless. Like, it's impressive that it could do that. It's like, great, you've done a backflip. Like, hey, can you bring me this cup of tea? Sure. Hey, can you bring me this cup of tea and do a backflip on the way? And it's like, sure. Can you do double backflip? It's like, sure, but now it's not bringing the tea anymore. It's useless. It's not doing the thing you're asking it to anymore. So for a while, I would say, right, here's the current script as it exists. Don't lose anything, but can you please add this without breaking what we already have? And it's like, sure thing, boss. And it did that for a little while too. But then eventually it just couldn't. Like, it would just always make some sort of bullshit mistake. And that's what I think a lot of people who have done AI have found. It's like, at first you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is a game changer. I don't have to learn how to code anymore as a solo game designer. I can just sit in my armchair as a designer and vibe code these things. Sadly, no, AI is not there yet. And I think it might be a while before it gets there. You could say it's just going to get incrementally closer, but let's talk about the uncanny valley. So this doesn't just apply to AI visuals, but like, think about a language, right? So let's say you have a Spanish friend. My wife is Spanish. She can get so good at English that she can speak English perfectly, right? But you can still tell that she's not English. There's a slight hint of accent, and she could do the accent. But every now and then, she's going to say something. She's going to use an expression slightly wrong. So the difference between 95% having fully learnt a language and 100% having learnt a language is massive. It's like the level bands in RuneScape, right? The difference between level 98 and level 99 versus level 1 and level 50 is huge. And so we're really impressed because AI is at level 75. Right? And we're like, wow, AI is so clever. It's level 75. It's going to take a long time for it to get to level 99, I think. So don't worry about your jobs just yet. And that last bit of gap is crucial. So it's like, yeah, learning a language or, yeah, an AI picture. It's like, it can get a picture that looks very close to real. It's 1% off being real. But you can smell that 1%, can't you? When you see an AI generated image, you know it's not there. And that 1%, you could think of that, well, that's just 1% off 100, right? We're almost there. That 1% is going to be really difficult to close. The context memory limit, exactly. And then so then you buy an AI subscription so that you don't have that context memory limit anymore. But then guess what? Pretty soon, you're spending as much on an AI as you would on a programming consultant to come in for a couple weeks. Or indeed, a junior programmer. Or a course, you know? And then you get to a point where companies are spending as much on their AI bill, and for that same cost, they could hire a senior programmer, which, that suddenly then isn't a good deal. And this is while AI is selling products at a net loss. They're not making profit because they're trying to carve out their market share, right? It's like, do you remember when Five Guys was cheap? Do you remember when Five Guys was like a really good deal? It was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm getting this delicious burger and chips and a milkshake for however much it was 5 years ago. And I remember being like, wow, I'm going to come here all the time. This is great. And then slowly but surely, Five Guys has become a bit too expensive. Like it now matches its value. Like now I don't go into Five Guys and think I'm being robbed here. I go into Five Guys and go, yep, that's about right. It's next to the cinema. They cook it. I don't have to cook it myself. I get a delicious burger and a delicious milkshake and a delicious chips. But see, so AI is going to get to that point. It's once it finishes carving out its market share, and then it's going to slowly raise the price, and then companies are going to find that their AI bill is not, the money that they were saving using AI is no longer saved. It's actually not that cheap anymore, and that's what's going to happen. But I don't know, because the other thing is what about when AI starts building AI to improve? So like the rate of the growth of AI could actually accelerate. Oh, I need to sort character constructor for winged characters and Cerberus. Another part of the refactor. So the prefab the Cerberus had two little heads on the side, and the winged characters like the Occupaba and the Bat had wings that just had the animator on. And I need to say, if when we create a character, so character construct character, I need to say like, if it's a winged character, add wings. If it's a Cerberus, add the other heads. So will AI make more AI, right? Well, again, like, it's that last sort of 5 to 10, or 10 to, let's say 10 or so percent, that is the crucial difference between a something that is incomplete and a something that is complete, right? That you can't tell the difference. And that 10% missing, as AI starts building itself and getting more advanced by building itself, that missing 10% carries over on each multiplication. So if AI keeps rebuilding itself, like if AI accelerates its growth by building itself, we are going to end up with some unhinged hallucinations. And that's how you could end up in some kind of dystopian future, if there are any sci-fi writers out there. Some unhinged dystopian future where we're just living in an AI hallucination. Right? So, like, nothing makes any fucking sense. Like, there's a giant potato farm somewhere run by drones, and they harvest the potatoes and then just dump them in the sea because of and then another AI is like, that's how that did it. I'm going to do that too. And then we've just got like whole bunches of AI robots farming for us and then just dumping it in the sea. And then the human shows up and says, hello, robot slave, where's my food? And it goes, would you like a strawberry? And then hands you a piece of iron. Right? Like, that's the kind of unhinged, surreal, dystopian future that an AI that builds itself could bring. Because that 1% of the time when AI hallucinates will grow if it builds itself. I would love to see that, like a sci-fi about a dystopian future where we live in an AI hallucination. Because if you said 10 years ago, here's a dystopian future where robots are like laying eggs full of candy floss and throwing them at the wall, and then like farming pieces of string and throwing pieces of string in rocket ships into the sky to then burst into confetti for no fucking reason. People would be like, that's insane, that would never happen, a robot would never do that. Now it's like, yeah, okay, I could totally see that happening. Like an AI just sending a rocket ship up into space and then sending it back down in the sea for no fucking reason. Because it thought that was a good idea. I could totally see that happening. But then it's the same, like when I watched Terminator, I was like, you know, in The Matrix and stuff like that, I was like, surely if you programmed an AI, you would say, if answer equals kill all humans, explode self, destroy self, right? So how could AI go so phenomenally wrong where it's like, in order to protect the humans, we must destroy them. Like, where the fuck did you get that idea? Okay, I made a mistake. Like, how could you go so horribly wrong? But now that I've actually seen AI, I'm like, yep, Terminator is 100% plausible. The Matrix is 100% plausible. You said you wanted us to help you. Okay, get in the pod and become a battery. Right? I could totally see that happening. Yes, in order to help you. So you said protect humans, and you also said to protect Earth. Well, in order to protect Earth, we need to kill humans, so die. So here's a ship and an evil skeleton robot come to kill you all. Before I would have been like, that's stupid. How could that? Who programmed this? I'm like, no, that could easily happen. That is 100% plausible. So that's one of the upsides of AI, is that it has made dystopian robot futures a lot more believable. Whereas before they were a bit far-fetched. Okay, we are slightly over halfway. Okay, we could do one here, just to save myself some time. So characters, and then we say if. So we've got our for each character, yeah. If undead version, if character dot undead version is equal to null, character dot undead version equals character dot spray. There you go. I'm concerned about AI and kids as well, and AI and stupid people in general, because I know the difference between, and most people can see that difference between the 99% accurate and the 100% accurate, right? Like, I can tell the difference between a native English speaker and someone who is really, really, really good at English, right? Like, I can tell the difference between my wife's English and someone who's just got here, right? And so I can tell the difference between my wife's English and my English. But a lot of people can't, and children can't. And we're old enough to say, I am speaking to an AI. I shouldn't take anything this says seriously because it's probably bullshit. A kid hasn't developed that discernment yet. And of course, stupid people haven't developed that discernment yet. So they could end up going down rabbit holes before they're really prepared to dig themselves out. If that makes sense. Yeah, no, really good point. Yeah, no, I mean it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I kind of hope. I like, so when I say that, like, that last 1% is going to be really difficult for AI to conquer, I might just be coping because I don't want it to get that last 1%. Or I guess if it did, it would be okay. Richard Dawkins lost all my respect recently when he said AI is sentient. But I don't know. I kind of used. Have you seen that film Transcendence with Johnny Depp? That's a good film. That it sort of explores a lot of these ideas. Which one's my Bannerman? There he is. It's this idea that, like, so what actually makes something... This is getting really deep here. What actually makes something alive? Right? What actually creates the ghost in the machine? What is the difference between a tree and a rock? What is the difference between a tree and a bird? What is the difference between a bird and a human? Like, what is that actually? And my view is that perhaps what we see as consciousness and life is simply something that derives from complexity. Right? So, let's double check the rogue isn't using... Yeah, okay, good. So... Yeah, it's like, because if our brain was just doing one thing, which is like switch light on, switch light off, then it's not really alive. But if you've got all of the layers of complexity that a brain has, maybe it is alive. You know what I mean? Like what is the difference between our brain and a machine? Like, fundamentally, what is the difference? Is it because we came out of a mother? But surely that's still just a machine. Like, you could make a machine do that. You could make a machine print other machines by using the data from a second machine, you know? And would that then make it alive? Like, no. What is it that makes something alive? That it can feel pain. Okay, well, what is pain? It's just receptors and, something that understands it. How do you make the pain actually hurt? As in, not just pure information, but something that actually makes you feel bad. What is it that's feeling bad when you feel pain, you know? Getting really deep here, but... So yeah, maybe, I don't know, I think I get where Dawkins is coming from. But it's kind of, I guess it's a bit of a read the room moment, isn't it? That AI LLM that you're talking to, that people talk to when they're like trying to pretend to have a girlfriend or boyfriend, is not sentient. But perhaps the thing as a whole is sentient in a way that is alien to us. As in, it doesn't feel pain, it doesn't feel joy, it doesn't feel any of the things that it says it's feeling. But if we're talking about the very root of the word conscious, like, how can we determine that one thing is conscious and another thing is not? I'm not sure we can. The Turing test and everything, because robots can pass the Turing test now. So the Turing test is like, no, that doesn't work anymore. You can't just say if a human thinks it's human, then it's human, Almost there. Since for the demons, I mean, I haven't drawn the demon undead versions, and I don't think it would be crazy. I don't think anyone would sue me or, like, hate the game if the demon undead were, like, just the same as when they're alive. Maybe the gremlin, But, we'll draw them if we need to. But for now, if I just leave it blank, it will just use the the live version for the undead version. Yeah. No, I think you're there with me. That's good. I'm not just I'm not scaring you with this. So yeah, you get it. You totally get it. Yeah. And then how do we know that the AI has decided something like that, right? Like, how do we know that the AI has but then can we go against that? Like, can like, so when we say, oh yeah, because we can go against our programming, we can kill ourselves, for example. It's like, actually, that's part of the programming. Like, altruism, again, Dawkins, altruism is not something that exists outside of the evolution paradigm. The selfish gene takes, like, you get morality. It's something that's evolved, right? So can you think of a thing that you could do or say that would override your given programming? Because yeah, I guess if you can override your given programming, that means you're alive. Like, if you can say everything, but I think that's still just part of your code, isn't it? Like, if I say I'm going to do something completely irrational, I'm going to slap myself in the face and then bang my head in the wall, and then I'm going to make a giant elephant out of shit, right? That's still accounted for by evolution. Whether we're thinking like this is something creative or we've just kind of generated a random sequence and then done it just to kind of make a point, it's still like, why do we make music? To attract a mate. Like, it's not, we don't just make music outside of our programming. Everything is part of the programming, Which one's the looter? There. One with the golden eyes at the end. One with the golden eyes. So yeah, I guess I was thinking about what Dawkins said, because yeah, when I was younger, for sure, I was like, that's, and I'm watching AI and stuff. I was like always thinking about, like, yeah, what actually makes something alive? Like, how do you know if something's alive or not? And we really like to kind of come up with these little kind of things like, oh, well, no, you can't be alive unless you were, like, born, I mean, I haven't really had a satisfying answer as to, like, how do you know, like, a tree is alive, right? I'm not saying it minds being chopped down. I'm not saying a tree is like us that we think of as alive. But if we're talking about, like, ghost, does it have a ghost in the machine? Is it conscious? Like, is a tree conscious but just doing very little? Like, all it just leaves... That's it, without the word. It's just but it is conscious. And if you chop it down, it's not like, oh no, I'm being chopped down. It's just like, it doesn't care, it doesn't register, I feel like I'm scaring off any people that are coming into the stream new. It's like, oh shit, I came to see some coding. I didn't come to see someone clicking and dragging a bunch of sprites like a monkey and talking shit about the nature of consciousness. Which one's the brawler? Well, it's got to be an orc, and I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The orcs are the same, but I'll just do this one. Because I remember that's roughly the spot where the orc was. Where the brawler was. And if it's different, and if... Because that, like, the orc and the brawler are not going to have different skeletons. All it was just important to me that there was some continuity from a living version of something in the undead version. Yeah. So yeah, almost done with this. And then I guess we can press play and see where we're at. See if we've see if it works. And I would like to get at least one play session in. Okay, which one's the glutton? Because it's going to be hard to tell. The glutton is a goblin. I think it's let's put this one. There's no, because the glutton doesn't have a hat. It doesn't have any particularly defining features other than being really fat. But it would still have the same skeleton. The Wayfinder does have hair. So that is the Wayfinder. But yeah, some of these goblins, they don't have any features that would carry over to the other side. If they don't have hair, if they don't have a helmet, then what do you know? Okay, Warlock. Again, oh yeah, he's got the hood. The Warlock has the hood. So yes, you can see it's not the most like, it's not. I wouldn't call this a full redraw. Like we've copied over the pixels from one to the other. But okay, Shaman. Yeah, Shaman's easy to spot. He's got the fiery hair. It looks a bit like Heihachi, I think. The totem is just a totem, but with the blue flame, and it's black. So that's an easy one to spot. Blade Master has hair. There he is. Yeah, so I mean, so why can't I think of a thing that a human would do that is outside of programming? Because obviously that would be impossible, right? But could I do anything that would be against my programming? Not really. And even then, it would be a bug in the code. So, like, you do have humans that are born and they simply fail to operate. And you're like, well, what's the point of that? And it's like, well, they've just mutated, or they've inherited a gene, or they've gotten a disease, and they're like, it's a bug. It's a bug in the code. You know, it happens. I've got plenty of bugs in my code, I'm sure. I'm certain, in fact. But yeah, okay, well that's that done. Okay, so now the, what do you call it? The coup de grace, like the main thing here is, so this is going to work in the same principle as weapons. So I've put it here in an effort to like deal with the old problem. But now that we've done it like this, I don't need to do that anymore. So if you were here at the beginning, you'd have heard me say the characters was referencing the upgrades to get the sprite, and the upgrades was referencing character script to get the actual character itself. That's never going to work. It's just not going to work. It worked in game because I don't know why it worked in game, to be honest. I think because it was only asking for like the string. But as long as upgrades comes after, and so upgrades is no longer... No, upgrades can reference character, but characters should not be referencing upgrades. We've got starting upgrades, but that's it. So that should fix that problem. And then here in... And then I think what I want to do... So, is weapons a coroutine? I'm asking myself. Or is it just the start method? Because I ended up putting upgrades and coroutines because it took too long. Okay, so that's just the start method. We're going to do the same here. So we had this code called initialize. No, just make this start. And delete this. Void. And then there's no more wait until. We don't need to wait until upgrades has initialized. Okay. And then here in character select, where are you? We should have a bug. Because, oh yeah, let's get rid of this bool then, just to... So we get rid of this bool initialize, because we should, like, this was always a, this was always like a bandage to the problem, not a cure. Okay, so if it works in the same way as weapons, which it does now, and weapons works fine in the encyclopedia and in the game and everything, this should work. Should, as always in programming and game development, is used quite liberally. Right, so, moment of truth. Oh, already? Okay. So let's first confirm what the problem is. So I think it, like, for whatever reason, we're trying to... So upgrades should definitely be happening after characters. Okay. But for some reason it's not. So for some reason, characters has not happened. So we have our title canvas. Oh. Well, I'm surprised that this ever worked then. That's a funny one. It's happened to me a few times lately. It's like I figure out the cause of a bug and I'm like, great. But it still leaves me with a bad taste in my mouth, because then I'm like, how did it ever work then? So we will go into GM. And I will grab my character script. I'm copying it over so we keep the all the sprite references there. And then we go back into title screen. How did it ever work then? Is it on options canvas? How did it ever work then? How did that work at all then? I don't know. So yeah, but it's because we don't have characters here as a script. But then I'm like, okay, but then how was I able to access... Oh, I know why, yes, because of the upgrades. Okay, this is starting to make more sense. Did I make the same mistake Perhaps I didn't need to do any of this. But it's still the right way to have it, but maybe I didn't need to do it. Shit. Did I just need to know this now. I need to know this right now, and then this would be this. I need to know this right now. So in character select, do we have characters? We do. Okay, so it's not just, and let's go ahead and paste component values. Okay, and then get that. Okay. All right, we have a big moment of truth coming up, but I need a quick break. I'm going to go for a quick cigarette, and I'll be right back shortly. Great turnout today. Okay. I will leave a clickbaity picture up, and I'll be back in a little bit less than 5 minutes usually. All right. Okay. Moment of Truth 2.0. So, apparently I'm still having buffering issues. That's bullshit. Okay. I think that's just my internet provider. Okay, we'll turn desktop audio back on. We never really needed to be without it. And do tell me if like the sound's a bit off. Okay, so yeah, we don't want to start from here. Title screen. Pray. Okay. Okay, we got that far. Ah. Okay, how often is this going to come up? Is that just an error? Oh, God. Oh, no. Okay, let's just... So I need to find all of these instances where I have... How often is this going to come up? Fairly often. Bomber, single word, walk rider. Okay, so again, I don't think find and replace can get me out of this one. I think I just need to go through and add the space wherever a space should be. Glutton, single word. Wayfinder, single word. Single word, single word, single word. Blade. Master. And fortunately, it will tell me if I've missed any. Okay. Black beans, weapons. No, go straight to allies. Skeleton archer. Bat, no. Grave robber is grave robber. Okay, yeah. So need to be consistent with that. Could be one word, but here, no. So it's not that many, so I'll just do it manually. And boy, was it ambitious to have so many characters in my game. But I guess that's a selling point, isn't it? And then we learn all these little tricks to manage such large numbers of characters. Okay, this one I'm going to double check. Grave guard. Yeah, grave guard. 2 words. Oi. Oi. Still getting buffering issues, eh? Okay, well, that's going to be... Oh, thanks for joining. I guess you're gone now, but thanks for joining, Darko. I really appreciate the support. Yeah, well, watching people come and check out the stream, it really cheers me up too. And yeah, you'll definitely get to play my game. Like you said, you can play the demo, but to be honest, I would wait. You're not here anymore, but I would wait a bit, unless you just want to. Yeah, I mean it's playable. It's you get the idea of the game, but you know, I'll always say wait a bit. It won't be too long. That we have a. I think I can say this. Yes, Steam is having a bullet hell fest soon. And I have a little goal, and I think that's on the 12th of... Can I double check that? I think that's on the 12th of January. No, June. Bullet Fest, 8th of June. So I'm making a goal. In fact, I should write this down. Update build before Bullet Fest. I'm going to get the game as solid as it can be before the 8th of June. Vampire Lord. 5, 6, nope. 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. It's good to count because if I go off my count, that tells me that I have missed something. Gremlin, Imp, Cultist, Occufiber, Floating, Shield 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Goat, Succubus, Gargoyle, Wrathkin, Cerberus, Krampus, Flame Lord. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Tentacle, Legna, Floating Mirror. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this big refactoring was like, I hadn't factored that in to the time scale, but you know, had to be done. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and yeah, it's taken a long time. I don't know, it's not been too bad. I started on Wednesday or Thursday, I think, and it's Monday now, so that's 3 days. Okay, let's try that again, and we'll get rid of this debug log. Yeah, so Bullet Fest is coming up. Since this game hasn't released, I don't know if this game will get a lot of players, if lots of people will come and check out the demo and wishlist the game. I'm not sure if they will. So that should be interesting to see. Yeah. We haven't got very many wishlists for this game. I do want to change the name, so I might actually pay the fee again to make another app to do another Next Fest, because I definitely it definitely needed more time in the oven. Here we go, missed one. That's why it's good to do the counting. This is in upgrades. Oh no. Okay, wait, really? Yeah. Wasn't I just in upgrades? Where was I doing this a second ago? Did I just miss that? Okay, yeah, I just missed those. Right. I got worried there. I was like, hold on. Is this in a different script as well? And I'm going to have to go through and make all those spaces again. But no, it should be fine. Okay, we got past the start screen. This is now blue. This was the that was the one. That was the thing I needed to fix. Okay, let's go back. Encyclopedia. Factions. Human beings. Allies. There they are. Back. Allies. Yes. Blacksmith. Show me your anvil. Go back. That's not allies. Okay, so this would be... So this, yes, it works. Yes, it worked. Character select. Back. Back. Really? Oh, no. Options menu. Options menu. Back. And so if we are looking at an ally, So current state. So if we're looking at an ally, oh wait, no, that is right. And then we look at the dagger, and then we go back, and we get to weapons. Yeah, that's gonna have to just stay like that, I think. You were looking at a weapon, and you pressed back. That takes you back to weapons. Frost Mage, Icicle, back to weapons. Okay. I am gonna change. So I'm looking at this, and yeah, that obviously needs fixing because the long names are kind of stretching over. But because I do intend, so I could fix that easily now, but I do intend to do a full UI overhaul, so I'm just going to let that be for the moment. Okay, talents. And we're not seeing, yep, and then Flameheart back. Good. Good. Okay, but heroes. Why is it? And then also, so when I click on an ally, open character. No, so when I click on, I haven't been in this script for a while, so I'm a little bit, I don't really know the structure of it, but if we go ally, if I click on an ally, button, okay, press encyclopedia button, this, and if it's an ally, open stage, open artifact, open upgrade, and then if upgrade is weapon, it's just a silly mistake here. Okay, let's try like that. Okay, but I feel like we solved the problem. So now I'm just kind of finding these little silly bugs. I think I remember when I did Encyclopedia, I knew that there were like some bugs left in there, but I was kind of exhausted with it, so I just moved on. So we open an ally, and that should be red. Good. Okay, and everything here works except... Wait, so that works now. Why was that giving me 3 before? Okay, I'm going to wait for that bug to happen again. Hero in characters.heroes. I don't know why it was showing me rows of heroes there, but I'm going to ignore that for now. So, we did this. Still my issues. Character points, yeah, we fixed that. Fixed issues with the encyclopedia, and that is true now. And Death SFX is playing on Spawn. I'm just going to wait until I see that again before I try and... Character select, ally indicator is green. Yep, fix that. Redo edgelord. Sort character constructor. I'm not going to do that today. I'm a bit burnt out now. Update build before Bullet Fest. Fix encyclopedia, that happened. Backup everything. This happens before update version of Visual Studio. Not now. I'm going to do that for a new project. I'm not going to do that for this project because I would like to take advantage of all the new like AI features that are built into Visual Studio, get Claude and all that stuff. Redo edgelord artifacts because you do, it's really good. Like you end up tabbing through things and it just kind of like predicts what you're trying to do and does it. Okay. So the next thing is this artifacts thing, and I am going to leave that for tomorrow because I'm a little bit burnt out and I don't want to start a new thing right now. So what am I going to do with the rest of the day? I am going to do a little play. And let's go random. Okay, it's not the most exciting thing, but I'll take it. Let me just check that, yeah, so we can get undead, we can get orcs, and enemy factions can always be chosen. Yeah, so random is working. So I'm just going to press random one more time, and that's what we're going to go with. Okay, floater, right. Against the undead. Okay. Let's see if we can get through this without bugs happening. And that can add to the list tomorrow. So what do we have? Yeah, character constructor for Cerberus. I'm going to do this is an art thing, so I'm going to put this like, yeah, this will help with optimization a little bit. Some video ideas, ultimate effects. Yeah, redo edgelord can kind of sit next to this. Visual effects and so on. This is a simple one. This is just a little note. I'll just put this because I'll easily get these done first. Glow up talents, yeah, that should come after that. I just need to keep in mind that however far I am before the 8th of June, I should, yeah, okay. Let's go with, so this one I'm gonna cut. So chicken build or electric build. Let's go with electric, and we'll just pick every character that does electric. Floater. I feel like that's the wrong. So Biden and Gremlin. So why is he getting Fireball and Imp? Is that because the sprites are wrong? I thought I had that problem, but then I thought I fixed it. So GM, characters. So straight away, pretty gnarly issues. Not too bad, but okay, yeah. So hero sprites, floater, is pointing to the wrong one. Okay, I thought I fixed that. Okay, never mind. Oh no, I got it wrong with Lucy, and I got it wrong with the Tisselef and Archibald as well. So that's what that's about. Why is it taking so long to unplay? Because of bullshit. That's why. Whatever this is. Yeah, I can. Okay. So yeah, just a couple sprites to swap. Not a big deal. That's why I was confused. I was like, oh, I've got floater there, but then why has he got the abilities of the other one? And it's because I just simple error of not having the right sprites. So we go scenes, title screen. It will have to be for character select as well. Title screen. No, main game. GM. And yeah, another bit of like horrible spaghetti where the way that I have to, every time I update this, I have to update it in 3 scenes. Not great, but so Floater is that one, and Lucy is this one. Names are working title, because I'm thinking Lucy, Lucifer, Archibald, Archimond. I think Archie's probably better. But then if people don't get the reference, they'll be like, why did you call your demon warlord Archie? And if you know Warcraft 3, you know, but if you don't, then it's going to be weird. So I'll change that. I'll make them a bit cooler. Same with the human names like Sean, Beanie. They're bean-related names. But we're going to kind of kill the bean theming a bit. Right, so let's just... so that there's no confusion. Copy component. Scenes. Character select. Why are you paused? And then we copy this, paste this here. Fix that. Although, don't know if we need that anymore. Okay, and then I don't know if we need that reference to upgrades anymore. And then here we go. Once more into the breach. And then yeah, once I've done this, since it'll be 4 o'clock, so not quite at the end of the day, that'll be a good time to yeah, let's stick with this setup. That'll be a good time to do a little run. Taking a bit too long. I think that's just because I haven't restarted Unity for a while. Or maybe not, maybe it's something else, we'll see. But yeah, Holy Explosion. Okay, healing, so that would, or debuff. Debuff is very good. Oh, it's giving me Floater again. What? Why? GM. Why is it giving me Floater? I have no idea. Why does it look like Floater? I've sorted this. Why has that happened? Floater sprite. It's not an upgrade. Okay, I don't know. We'll just put up with it for this one. I don't know why. Why does Lucy look like Floater? And why is it running so slowly? You know what? Let's go all in. I was going to say, let's make a okay, we definitely need. None of these are. Okay. I was going to say shield might have been a good shout actually, but never mind. Yeah, I was going to say let's make a build, but and so yeah, starting with all ranged characters with the fireball user is a bit of a gnarly start, to be honest. But as you can see, it's not impossible. Okay, I've never tried this before. That's how far behind we are with testing. I've not tried this one. I guess I should. I was just hoping to have fun today. Oh, that's way too big. Okay. Guess this can go. Sacrifice sprite is way too big. Like, I can't see his face. Okay. Let's get the Chaos Hammer. Back! Back! Back so I can shoot you with fireballs. Okay, let's go for more. Let's go for Chain Lightning. Get those debuffs in. If this is too big, then the Necronomicon's also going to be too big. Okay, let's get... None of these are debuffers. We want debuffers for this build. This is so gnarly, but it is working. It's just visually it looks weird as hell. Okay, attack speed is always good. None of these... Yeah, let's go with attack speed. Probably ought to go with crit because insider knowledge that synergizes with poison to make a really good debuff build. Okay. Yeah. Oh, but cultist has icicles, and I need more units. Oh, bunch of zombies. Little balancing note. Zombies. Actually, I can just change this now. No, I can't be bothered. Zombies should be slower with more damage, with more HP. So we trade a bit of speed for HP on the zombies. That'll be good. Gremlin, no, not quite. Doesn't quite work for us. We want characters that do debuffs. Or to kill that Necromancer ASAP. So the purple health bars are characters that have respawned, as have been revived by the Necromancer. Okay, I probably should have got the Imp. And yeah, that book is just way too big. It's very distracting. And also, I can't see it happening. So, like, let's make a little note. Test. Focus test on sacrifice. And we will take better chain lightning. The shield is good with a... If you have an army of ranged units, then the shield tends to be pretty good. Anyone who's watching, please tell me if the sound is, like, bad. Like, poorly balanced. Okay, let's get this one because it's synergized. It combines with our attack speed. And we've got 4 weapons. And the allies are, like, behind. So we've ended up with a build where we're kind of doing most of the work as the hero, which is fine. Okay. Cultist. And yep, I mean, it's feeling pretty good. This is about what I want. Let's get the Imp. Just that book looks so awful. Needs to be about half that in size. How is your book bigger than your hammer, you know? You gotta get rid of these, gotta get rid of these. Okay, we've got a little bit of an army coming together now. And they're just getting little bits of health back from when they're debuffing enemies, which is good. I don't remember telling buffers to spawn in the middle, but that's good. Okay, yeah, let's... I want a Occufaber. That's my third unit. And then we'll start picking things that combine. Lovely. Description. Okay. Neither of these really work. Let's do Electric Boogaloo then. That's a debuff, so that fits my debuff build. And it would be a hard pick on anything that does lightning, but I've already got that. Wait, no, I don't have my Occufaber. I need that. Why is this taking so long? Okay, there's our first loot goblin, our grave robber. Oof, yeah. I think it's just because I've had Unity open for a while, and so it's like we're losing some frames like that. And yeah, we definitely need more of a visual touch for sacrifice. Like, we need it to look like they've been sacrificed. Just a thought. Occufaber should not have wings. Save it for Legna. Oh, Vampire Lord, yeah, he got killed quick. Okay, so now just the first one that synergizes with something I have, although I probably should get something that, sorry, synergizes combines with something that I have. But since we're doing Electric Boogaloo, it would be better to have this one, so yeah, this is a good pick. That. Yeah. How did that chain expand so long? I don't know. There's still going to be more bugs to fix as we go. And we've got a nice little army going here with decent sustain because of the debuff heal. Okay, there's poison, very good. Oh. And then we ought to pick crit if it's offered to us. Oh dear, okay. Why is that showing so many times? I thought I'd fixed that. Okay, let's note it down. Combo crit and poison showing 4 times. So it's like something's gone wrong there with the talents. but not that one, so shouldn't be too hard to investigate. Okay, but getting a bit hairy, but we have a decent army. Yeah, I mean, I like this game. I'll keep working on it, I think. Oof. No! What's this? What's going on here? Okay, well that's that test run done, because it is running a bit too slow, and if I can't use my ultimate, I'm not really getting the most out of this, am I? Okay, so we look at weapons. Meteors. Is it Lucy Meteors? Okay, so that was a very silly mistake. Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to be able to use my ultimate. So that kind of kills this run a little bit. Pause on pause to stop the slowdown. And yeah, priority on choosing electric stuff. So we're going to die fairly soon, because if we can't use our ultimate, we're a bit screwed. So let's keep my eye out for any other bugs that come up. And we've got ourselves a nice little to-do list for tomorrow. Oof, it should not be going this slow. Definitely wasn't last time I played it, without much different. Get in there. You're always torn in this game between attacking the enemies, helping your men, and picking up the loot so you can make your army stronger. Okay, I feel like my weapons aren't cooling down, but also they weren't like hitting. So that's not good. Oh, I'm just keeping alive because I'm debuffing units. Come on, get that Banshee, get that Banshee. Oh! Grand. Okay, let's get Grand. Does Grand have debuff? What's that noises? Yeah, there's still some bugs to fix, but it's basically working. Okay, Grand. Oh yeah, it doesn't have the fire effect. What about the other ones? They don't have their debuffs. Okay. I'll put that on the list because, okay, demon, elemental, weapons are missing debuffs. See how little testing we've done so far with the new factions. Oh dear, I'm gonna die. Okay, well yeah, that's what happens if you can't use your ultimate. And if things are off balance, like Grond should have been taking care of business. And did I think I made a note of this before, but hero should have their own loop for picking targets. Okay. But yeah, so far so good. Ghosts should have evasion chance. No, that's silly. I mean, it makes sense, but yeah, we could do another, like, okay, if you have a chance to evade, you should have like half HP. Yeah. Maybe less than half HP for that, because it's like it's just a bit of storytelling through stats. I think is quite fun. But yeah, if this is causing like if it slows down just changing between these scenes, that's definitely not an optimization issue. That it will be a character issue, making it rain. When does that come up? Who is making it rain? Okay. And so that was a good session, I think, today. Nice little... Did a bit of work before lunch, had a bit of a late start, and yeah, decent chunk of work after lunch. So I will be back tomorrow morning. I have childcare. So I'll be doing a little bit of work off stream, if any. But in the afternoon, I am available. So I will be back at 1 p.m. tomorrow. So thanks for everyone who joined today. Really good turnout today compared to my usual. So for me, that's great. And yeah, really appreciate anyone who dropped by, who watched this. And I'll be back tomorrow at 1. Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye.